With heavy hearts, we are saddened to announce the passing of our beloved mother, sister, grandmother, auntie, and cousin, Marie Laura Laurent Charles, better known as Charles, who resided at Redwy Orchard, Grosley. She passed away peacefully at her residence on Saturday, 5th October 2019 at 10 a.m. She was 87 years old. Left to mourn, her only daughter, Cynthia Charles Vigilant, better known as Glory, in Martinique. Adopted daughter and caretaker, Sabrina Charlemagne of Redwy Orchard. Her caretaker, Benedict Jean-Baptiste of George Mallet Avenue, Marcia. Adopted children, Michael Saint-Prix in Martinique, Benz Charlemagne in La Pointe-Choiseul, manager of Police Credit Union, Herbert Jean-Baptiste of Redwy Orchard, employed with Windjammer Landon. Her grandchildren, Neil Charles Agnews, better known as Junior, in France, Nadia Charles Bethel in Martinique, Janine Charles Polio in Martinique. 7 great-grandchildren, Yasmina Charles Etienne in France, Janille Charles in France, Kenil Charles in France, Nael Charles in France, Selwyn Charles in England, Joachim Charles in Martinique, Daniela Charles in Martinique. Adopted granddaughter, Richella Daisy, student of St. Joseph's Convent Secondary School of Redwy Orchard. Her goddaughter, Zana Joseph of Caille-Manger-Monchy. Justiane Charles in Marcia. Chris Jean-Baptiste of Lance Road. 2 great-great-grandchildren, Malin Etienne in France, Kobe Charles in England. Sisters, Petronilla Saint-Prix in Entrepot Castries, Lucille Charles of Active Hill Leclerc. Brothers, Joseph Saint-Prix, better known as Flemon of Active Hill Leclerc, Robert Saint-Prix, better known as Saint-Prix of Barnard Hill, George Saint-Prix, better known as Cal in Redwy Orchard, Grosley. 14 nieces, Soraya Saint-Prix of Entrepot, employed at Marigot Bay Resort Spa and Marina, Linda Charles of La Pointe-Choiseul, Dana George in Barnard Hill, employee with National Trust, Rebecca Alexander in Corinth, Jenna Charles of Cap Estate, Sharon Saint-Prix of Citygate, Lucilla Charles in the USA, Virgil Boyce in Barbados, Christy Saint-Prix in Vieux-Fort, Angela Charlemagne of La Pointe-Choiseul, Jennifer Charlemagne in Martinique, June Saint-Prix in Martinique, Sandra Marshall in Martinique, Sarah Lawrence in Balata, teacher of the Camille Henry Memorial School. 22 nephews, Livina Saint-Prix and family in Cicero, Chris Saint-Prix in Marcia, Kirby Preville in Redwy Orchard, Jermaine Saint-Prix and family in Soufrière, Stephen Saint-Prix in Active Hill Leclerc, Patrick Joseph, better known as Jeff, Matthew Saint-Prix in Citygate, Clifford Saint-Prix, better known as Rangu, in the USA, Cecile Charles in the USA, T. Babs Charles in the USA, Baby Charles in the USA, Augustine Charlemagne in Tomazo, Noel Charlemagne in La Pointe-Choiseul, Cusbat Saint-Prix in Balata, Fimba Saint-Prix in Marcia, Bobby Saint-Prix in Marcia, Fulgence Saint-Prix, better known as Hilary of Entrepot, Shane Saint-Prix in Grace Vieux, Kenitha Saint-Prix in Entrepot, Kevin George in Barnard Hill, employed of UWI Open Campus, MacArthur George in Barnard Hill, Marcus George in Canada. Her in-laws, granddaughter-in-law, Katie Charles in France, sisters-in-law Marie George in Barnard Hill, Pamela Saint-Prix in Activille-le-Clery, brother-in-law Emmanuel Lawrence in Balata, son-in-law Archibald Vigilant in Martinique, grandson-in-law Robert Bethel in Martinique, Arthur Polio in Martinique, Matthew Etienne in France. Special friends: Augustin Bissat, better known as Lufum, in La Pointe-Choiseul, Virginia Joseph in Martinique, Josephine Leonti in George Charles Boulevard, Marcia, Orella Benjamin in Goodlands, and Selma Mitoon in Marisol, teacher at Grosley Primary School, Janet Regerson in Beauséjour, Richard Daisy in La Pointe-Choiseul. Also left to mourn the Saint-Prix family in Castries, La Pointe-Choiseul, and Soufrière. Charles family in La Pointe-Choiseul, Castries, and abroad. Charlemagne family in La Pointe-Choiseul and Castries. Daisy family in La Pointe-Choiseul and Castries. Jean-Baptiste family in La Pointe-Choiseul and Castries. Saint Rose family in La Pointe-Choiseul and Castries. Inglis family in Banan. King family in La Pointe-Choiseul and Castries. Daisy family of La Pointe-Choiseul and Castries. Leonti family in Castries. Mitchell family in Delse-Choiseul. De Freitas family in La Pointe-Choiseul. Mesmin family of La Pointe-Choiseul. Pascal family in Castries and England. Her neighbours, especially Mr. Alan Peter of Radway Orchard. Family, friends, and well-wishers both here and abroad, too numerous to mention. The funeral service of our beloved Marie Laurent Charles, better known as Charles, will be held on Monday, 28th October 2019 at the St. Joseph the Worker Church in Grosley at 2:30 p.m. The body will be laid to rest at the Grosley Cemetery. One transportation will be provided from the Derek Walcott Square to Grosley Church and back for persons wishing to attend the funeral service. The bus leaves the square at 1:30 p.m. May she rest in perfect peace. Her body now lies at Crick's Funeral Home Limited, Vidbouteille.